Hi, thanks for coming on. Andy speaking on Sunday 6th of Feb. Looking back at the games in Scotland, the National League, some really interesting tables to come to as well. And I've broken down the National League. I've been meaning to do this for a while. I've just never got round to it. Apologies, but it's something which is really, really fascinating. And it shows an area where we are massively underperforming, and an area where I'd say we're performing above average. Really interesting. So I'll make the video as quick as possible, but you know, there's some really interesting stuff here, guys. And just to say, I'll be back next Tuesday. We've got quite a decent, I'm not going to say decent because I've not really looked at it yet, but there's plenty of fixtures, National League and Scottish, in the week, and fingers crossed we can kick on what was a fantastic weekend. Right, let's go through it quick. Dundee Ross, that was a members bet, 36%, 0.35 in it. Ross won for us. Really happy with that. Hibs 0, St Mirren 1. I've been looking to take Hibernian on for weeks. I said this, and 1.1 at 29%. If you're not backing that, you know, I say many times, don't I, about teams in the 20s. If there's over a point in it, it's worth playing. They've done the business for us. Livingston 2, Aberdeen 1. I can't believe the Racing Post put Aberdeen up as a 2-point win bet. That's absolutely mind-numbing. And as I've said to you, and I continue to say, when you take advice from these bookmaker-owned newspapers, websites, etc., you are not going to win, okay? The Racing Post is a bookmaker-owned paper. I don't care who owns it in legal terms, whatever. The Racing Post pander to bookmakers. They'll hate me for saying it. I used to work for them, but they hate what I'm saying, what I do. And 2 points to win on Aberdeen from Henry Hardwick in there. Absolutely mind-numbing. How and where he found that is just incredible. Ridiculous. If you want to stake 2 points to win in games like that, you're going to go bankrupt. Aberdeen might have won this game, but I tell you for nothing, if you're backing teams like this with 2 points, you can't win. We're on Livingston. I'm still kicking myself for missing a month the other week, but as I did say, that segment of 3 games, they've won 2 of them. We've only been on them twice, but they have shown us a profit, and I'm really chuffed about that. 0.65 in it. St Johnstone Dundee United was 0-0. No interest there for us, regardless of what this figure said. I'd normally back this figure, and I don't have a lot of personal input into bets. As I've said before, I follow what my figures and mathematics say, but I was never prepared to back Dundee United. Motherwell 0, Celtic 4, that's just finished. Rangers Hearts kick off shortly. Let's go on to the Championship. Arbroath 1, Kilmarnock 0. We were 2 points on Kilmarnock. Would I be happy to make the bet again? Yes. Would I have the same stake? Yes, I would, because I believe in what I do is right always. Figures and years prove that. Killie could have won the game. Arbroath did win it. Do I think Kilmarnock will still win the title? Yes, I do. Arbroath are performing way above, and we performed way above this week as well, and I'll come to that, which is really fascinating. So we dropped 2 points there. Ayr 1, Dunfermline 1. As I said at the time, minefield game. You could have made a case for either. It was a draw. That didn't surprise me. Inverness 0, Morton 1. This was a fantastic result, and this was one I really over the moon with, because I did say, I've said for a while, Inverness are finished. I'm not finished, but they're not going to be in the mix the end of the season. I'm not going to say they're opposable all the time, but Morton are showing signs of life, and if they could carry on in this vein, and Inverness are dropping like a stone. Wraith, I think, have gone. The Ton, we could see pushing for a playoff place. It sounds incredible. I don't imagine for 1 minute Morton keeping up this level of performance, but it is possible. It really is. Say Inverness massively overbet every week in, week out. Stay away from them. Partick Queen of the South was off. Wraith 0, Hamilton 0. Again, no interest there for us. As the David Goodwillie situation destabilised Wraith, possibly home at Queen of the South, home at Hamilton this week. They'd have been expecting at least 4 points, possibly 6. They've got 2. To me, they're not in the title race. League One, Cove won, Airdrie won. I was sceptical about Cove, as I did say. I think Airdrie performed admirably. I don't think they're going to win the league, but they're going to push Cove as far as they can. East Fife 0, Clyde 0. We were with Clyde. I can offer no excuses. I bet I'd be happy to make all the time. It was a loss, simple as that. Falkirk won, Queen's Park won. Again, I thought that was a tight call. Montrose won, Dumbarton won. I did issue a word of caution. Although Montrose were rated 60%, I did flag up their home record, and I'll continue to flag up that home record. They're not as reliable as at Links Park as they are on the road. Peterhead 0, Alloa 1. I'm pleased to see Alloa get back on track. This game was priced absolutely bang on. Alloa, again, if they were to string a run together between now and the end of the season, they could make the playoffs, because everybody is really underperforming in this league. Cove, Airdrie, Montrose, look the teams. Falkirk and Queen's Park, Alloa possibly. I mean, Clyde could do it. It's that final playoff place is up for grabs. It's going to be really interesting to see how it unfolds. And the good thing is, when you're in a situation like this in February with many teams contesting a playoff place, there's not what I call the safe mentality. I hate getting involved in games where there's a safe mentality. So many of these teams have got so much to play for still, and that creates potential bets for us. Whereas if you get a team drifting along comfortably in mid-table, they've switched off. All the potential to switch off. League 2, absolutely fantastic weekend in League 2. Anna Nilf, Stenhousemuir 2. Again, they are a team I've always known about Steny. I spoke to somebody, connected with him at the start of the season, and the hopes were a playoff place. And they knew that they were up against 2, I'm not going to say bigger sides, but the 2 that they thought they were all going to have to chase were Forfar and Kelty. And the hope for Steny was a playoff place. And they've got up a good head of steam. As I said on the video last week, their away form has been absolutely fantastic. If they can just start winning games at Ockleview, which they should be doing, there is every chance they could get one of those playoff places. I said Annan were too short. They were rated to win the game, but I'm not going to turn down 0.62 at 35% when a team has got an away record like Steny. 4-2, Albion 0. They got back on track finally. As I say, I wasn't prepared to have any involvement in this game, but I'm pleased to see them win. Obviously, it's a futile exercise, I think, trying to chase down Kelty at this stage of the season. They won 4-0, and as I did say, if my life had depended on it, this would have to be the best banker bet of the weekend. I didn't touch it. I couldn't have done anything, but thankfully they've got back on track. Stirling Cowdenbeath was off. Stranraer 0, Edinburgh 2. Fantastic again. Their away form, they lost the first 3 on the road, Edinburgh. They've not been beaten on the road since late August, early September, whenever it was. And I think, again, they're another side which at the start of the season, hopes were for a playoff place. The same was said of Stranraer. I tried to speak to as many people as I can, and that was what hopes were for Edinburgh, a playoff place. They knew they were up against it with Kelty and Forfar, particularly Forfar. Nobody really knew how Kelty were going to perform, but they've been far too good for this division. It's as simple as that. So it was a fantastic weekend for us in Scotland. 8 members bet 6-1, which is fantastic. We'll have a look at those results quick, and then we'll spend some time on the National League, because that seems to now be getting out of this stop-start routine. So there we go. That's what we had. 6 bets, 6 winners from 8 bets, and the prices were absolutely incredible. And it's weeks like this that there's no better feeling when you do this job, either professionally, semi-professionally as I do, but the rewards, as I say, can be fantastic. And we had that tricky run, didn't we, sort of around here, and that's when you've got to stick with it. You encounter these losses, and then you get weeks like this, which do, make such a difference. But we overperformed, and I will come to that at the end. But let's just have a quick look at the non-league. Not a quick look, we'll spend some time on it. Notts County 1, Grimsby 2. Fed up with Notts County now, and I'll come to that in a minute. Thought they'd win the game. Simple as that. They didn't. Torquay 1, Wrexham 0. I was going to go to this game, but I didn't. The reason I'm not is because I'm going to Bournemouth Boreham Wood tonight. Someone very kindly said they've got a spare ticket and didn't want to go with them, so I'm going to Bournemouth against Boreham Wood, which is an FA Cup time, and I think it's live on telly as well. But I will be there. I spent yesterday watching 2 games of rugby and 2 games of football, so sport goggled. Yeovil 0, Solihull 0. Again, that was another game I did think about going to. Yeovil are just unpredictable, aren't they? So we didn't have a winner in the National League. National League North, Bradford, PA, Park Avenue 5, Alfredton 0. I didn't expect this. I backed Bradford, PA purely because of decent home form. Alfredton aren't so good on the road. There was plenty in the bet, etc., etc. So delighted at that one. 0.4 in it. National League South, another team which I go to all the time, haven't. And I know what they're like at home, haven't. St Albans got back on track. 0.35 in that. So that was a decent result for us. So we'll have a look now at these the non-league, because they are... Here we are. We are 0.2 up. Finally. We started off on the 13th of November, and then we've missed big chunks of it because of COVID. We've backed teams which, we've gone ahead and backed them, and then come day of the game, players have been missing. It's been really, really, really frustrating. And I think if you look at this here, a couple of weeks ago, we were down over 4 points. But we've pulled it back and we're 0.2 up. So last weekend we had a few winners, but we didn't really make anything. Excuse me. We had one bet in the week, Southend, and yesterday we had 2 nice winners in Bradford, PA, and St Albans. But I've broken that down, and I just want to show you this. I've broken it down into 3 sections: National League North, National League South. The National League, talk about underperforming. I find this quite embarrassing, really. 25 bets, 9-1, 36%, which is poor. There's absolutely no getting away from it. That is a poor strike rate. It's a loss of 7.2 points. Loss on investment of 27.69%. That is absolutely... It's appalling. And just looking through them, Notts County. I'm clearly... I've overrated County this season, which is poor judgment on my account, I have to say. Wrexham we've backed 3 times, they won twice. We did bet Wrexham off the record, if you remember, against Aldershot. I had a really sizable bet on it that day, and I did put that out, but it wasn't a bet which I sort of put up to members or anything. It was, I'm not going to say it's an information bet, but it was it was a bet which was an extra bet, if you like. But yeah, I mean, clearly I'm guilty here of these big sides. Chesterfield, 2 points lost there. County, we've lost 5 points on Chesterfield and Notts County, which is really poor and disappointing, I have to say. And it's, all these have been value bets as well, which you have to bet them. But I've performed really poorly in the National League, and there's no getting away from it. That is an embarrassment. Now, if we look at the National League North, it's completely different. I wouldn't expect this overall anyway, but this sort of counterbalances the performance in the National League. But I mean, I think it's incredible. We've had 7 of the last 8 won. in the National League North. I've given these bets out to everybody. It's not like I've only given them to members. Everybody can see this. I don't charge anything for the National Leagues. I just do it as an extra. Southport 3 times been really good to us. It's funny, I didn't fancy them yesterday. They didn't come out well on the figures, and they got stuffed 5-0 at Chester. Chorley we've backed a couple of times. They've won. That was probably the most satisfying bet for me, I have to say. Boston last week, I thought that was a absolute, I'm going to say stonewall certainty, but that was a really, really good bet. Kidderminster as well have done us proud. 3 wins from 3. They run West Ham close yesterday, didn't they? It was absolutely fantastic occasion from what I know. They made themselves a lot of money. Really pleased for them. Hope they get up. I really do. But yeah, performance in the National League North has been off the scale. You'd say to me, what would a standard sort of 21 bets be? I would expect, say, 10 winners. This figure's high. This is probably about 10% over, and obviously this is high as well. But I don't know why. There's no rhyme nor reason why. Because my same methods apply exactly in every league, so I can't say as to why we're performing so well in the National League North and not so well. We're not performing not so well in the National League. We're performing abysmally. National League South, it's wiped its face, hasn't it? If you want to say that, 15 bets, 6 winners, 40%, 0.65 up, profit on investment of 4.33%. That's better than you're going to get at the Building Society. I don't really know what to say. It's such a small pool of bets in all the national leagues, because we started late, obviously, and then we've had this damn COVID situation which has caused such a disruption. I'm not going to use that as an excuse and say, oh, if that hadn't happened, we'd be on this points or that points. But I do make a profit in the National League overall, and I always have done. But as I say, at the moment, it's been really difficult. But 0.2 up on this level of bets is awful. It really is. But it's the National League that's doing the damage. There's no getting away from that. So what can I deduce from that? Follow me in the National League North and ignore and lay anything I do in the National League. That could be a way to profits, couldn't it? Right, let's have a look at this. This table here I find fascinating. These are all the bets we had in Scotland. This is a National League, but we'll come to those. And I just want to show you, because it's too easy to have backed all these this week. Think, oh Christ, this is fantastic. This is gonna happen every week. I just want to sort of, rein it in a bit, if you like. Obviously, the bets in blue and green all won. The reason the ones there in green, that's because they've got value in of over a point. So you can see this. The average rating was 35.12%. So that's really the strike rate that we should have had. So you can look at that and say, yeah, we were lucky this weekend because we hit a strike rate of 75%. So that's 40% more than what we should. There's 8 bets, 35% of them should have won, and simple as that. Now, this was the average value, 0.66, which is fantastic, isn't it? It's absolutely. I mean, I wish we could get this on every bet we had. I really do. But that's just something. We had a 75% strike rate this weekend, when really we should have had a 35% strike rate. So 40% of our bets more won than what should have. But if you look as well, Kilmarnock Championship, Ross Premiership, they were the 2 lowest values. Now these are the bets I love. Two from 2 in League 2, and that's performed the best. We'll go through all the individual Scottish leagues as well at some stage. I just wanted to concentrate a little bit on the National League on this video, because I don't feel I put enough in, and it, as I've said, it's such a big part of what I do. I've not bothered with it because we haven't not won. It's not like that at all. I put everything on here. I don't hide nothing from anybody. People make their own decisions. Right, let's have a look. This was the National Leagues this weekend, and straight away, top 3 teams, they're in the National League. Look at that level of value, 0.2 in all of them. Now, when people say to me, why don't I bet the Premiership and stuff like that in England, that is the simple reason why. Because these are good value. And it's the main National League is the worst league for value of the 3 National Leagues. Now, when I say to you that is head and shoulders above the English Premiership in terms of value, you can see what sort of figure you can expect if you're going to bet Premiership football. Now, I work on a 1 to 3 staking plan. I don't know anybody in the game that makes a profit from the Premier League with a staking plan like that. You can find punters will, I don't know, they might have a point on Liverpool to beat somebody. Liverpool get turned over, then they're going to have 10 points on, I don't know, Arsenal to beat Burnley or something. That is not the way to bet. You can't win like that. And talking of winning, before we go to the rest of this, bloke I work for, he was cock a hoop Friday night and yesterday. Took massive money on Manchester United, took massive money on Chelsea. None of them won in 90 minutes, but today they have been hit massively. I had a text, I spoke to somebody from Chisholm's yesterday, they were over the moon as well with the football, and he texted me before I'd done this video and said, scrub that, we've lost it all today. And 4 horses in Ireland at Leopardstown, I think 3 of them were Willie Mullins horses and the other one was Honeysuckle. They've all been had in doubles, trebles, accas. They've been absolutely crucified. The chap I work for said he felt like he'd been a victim of an armed robbery today after that what went on at Leopardstown. And as I say, he was cock a hoop with the football this weekend, and but he's given a lot of it back. I know that today at Leopardstown, and I know Chisholm's have as well. But yeah, I mean, just going off track there. Sorry, but what I'm saying is that like this, you don't even get this level of value in the English Premiership. Absolutely no way. And we've looked at it before. If this was in England, you're probably going to get 0.06 or something. I mean, you can't bet stuff like that, and you can win, but what's the point when you can get value like this? And as I say, I've been doing this 30 years now, making money every single season from Scottish football, and this is why. Because if you're getting figures like that in every bet you have, you can't not win. It's as simple as that. If every bet you have, you're making that, and you're going to win in the long run, and that is why Scottish football, for me, is if I could just take one league out of everything, it would be Scottish League 2. And people say, why do you want to bet Stenhousemuir against Edinburgh? It's not about what I like, it's about what's most profitable. And if you just look at the 2 winners we had here, one was in the National League North, the other in the South. Better value than in the National League. Now, the average rating was 44. We got a 40% strike rate, so we performed round about where we expected this weekend. We overperformed massively there. The average value in the National Leagues was 0.27. That's virtually 0.4 below what we got in Scotland, and that's why Scottish football, as I say many a time, it's where the money is made. And there was something else which was interesting, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of 8 bets this weekend in Scotland were away, and everybody knows I prefer to play games away than at home. Naturally, home teams are always over bet, and simple as that. But it was a fantastic weekend. It really was. 14.25 points in Scotland. We made a profit in the National League as well. And if you looked at Twitter yesterday, Rotherham, Tottenham, Oxford, MK Dons, we saw money for them, and all of those teams won as well. So I'd done them all to smallish stakes, as I generally do. It's a lot less than what I bet on Scotland. And yeah, I mean, it's just been an absolutely fantastic weekend. But just wanted to show you this because this is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? I mean, and you just see the difference. If I put a Premier League one there, if I found any value in the Premiership, it'd probably be something like 0.08. Why, oh why, would you want to bet teams where there's that level of value when you can get this? Beggars belief, doesn't it? But that's it. I'm off to Bournemouth Boreham Wood tonight. I've not been to Bournemouth this season. Fingers crossed for them, but then I've got a soft spot for Boreham Wood as well because it's a National League side. But that's it, guys. I hope you had a good weekend. I know many of you did. I got a couple of comments on Twitter, had half a dozen emails or so from people. And fingers crossed we can keep it up. I'm off to Fontwell tomorrow, and I'll be back Tuesday night. Bye for now.